All right, what is going on, guys? Non-demo guy here for HackersCurator. We're here for day number 2 of the Nikon laptop build. Hopefully, again, the audio and everything is coming through okay. Um, and hopefully, this camera looks substantially better. I did go pick up another decent camera so that I could do a little bit better in terms of the live stream. So, trying to work a little bit on the production value, give you guys something a little bit nicer to look at, even if it is my hideous face. Sometimes, yeah, hopefully everything is good to go. Looks like we have one user. Welcome. Hopefully you guys that are watching this after the fact, um, start chiming in the comments or whatnot. But we'll go ahead and get started. So last time we broke down all of the laptops, or rather the 2 laptops that we're going to be using to make this recreation. And yeah, so let's kind of go over some of the parts that we're going to be using today. The first, we'll be looking at the keyboard. Now this bottom piece here, this is the keyboard from the Apple. This is the Powerbook 180C keyboard. Now I have all the keys stripped off of it, and I'll show you why in a minute, and I actually have it upside down as well. I had to map the keys. What's going to be happening is I'm going to be using a Teensy and making this keyboard actually functional in the laptop. Essentially what it will do is convert this old keyboard into a USB keyboard. What I need to do is take the frame off of this keyboard and put this inside this frame. So that's something we're going to do today at the very least, is take this frame off of, or this keyboard out of this frame and set that aside. So that's one thing we're going to be doing. Next thing we're going to be doing is with the screen bezel. If you look in the film, there's like 2 layers of screen. So we'll be cutting out this frame and somehow attaching, probably with super glue, this frame back behind this one. So that's something that we will be doing today as well. At least that's the goal. I'm not going to be doing too much with this piece. This is the bottom of the case. This is just in my parts bucket. We will be breaking down this battery and taking all of the innards out of it, so that we just have a little frame here. This is where the Raspberry Pi is going to go. The Raspberry Pi is actually going to power this laptop. So when it's all said and done, we will also be cutting out the back of this Powerbook, mostly just to here, but we'll cut it out and sort of shave it down and get ready to put this onto the back of the case. So those are some of the things that we're going to be doing, and yeah, hopefully everything is coming across okay. I'm just going to check real quick on the stream, make sure it looks good, and yeah, looks like it's good. In fact, that one user might be myself, but hopefully people start chiming in, and yeah, so we'll get going. Great. So I think I'm going to start by removing the frame off of this keyboard here, and for that we're going to need a couple tools. So let's get off my chair here and start grabbing some tools. Tools today that we're going to be using is primarily a Dremel, or a Dremel style tool, a rotary tool, and a cutoff wheel and grinder. Now I've got this cutoff wheel, it's a quick release. This grinder, or sanding wheel, is also a quick release. So they're really nice. They're by Dremel, and they're really good for replacing these things. You just push it in and give it a pull. This thing comes off. Pretty nice. So for anybody who's maybe into doing some prop making or other style hobbies, that will be useful for somebody. I think I'm not going to use the sanding wheel right away. We will use this guy. So hopefully the weather doesn't get too bad. It's actually really nasty here in Denver. The weather is just really crappy. It was hailing and everything yesterday. And as a matter of fact, my car is in the shop right now because it got hail damage just, what, a couple weeks back now? And it's actually at the shop getting fixed. The hail rolled through and damaged it again, so another insurance claim. All right, the common safety thing here is make sure you wear some type of glasses or something like that. So I will make sure to do that. Switch out my regular spectacles. Fortunately, my eyes aren't that bad. But we are going to go ahead and grind off these little plastic, I don't know what you want to call them. They're sort of like, I don't know, rivets, I suppose. They're just melted down so that they, are bigger than the holes they were pushed through. And hopefully that lighting is not too bad. But let's make this happen. I apologize for the GoPro, but I've got to get some footage because I will be making a more of a compiled video of everything once it is done. So. That might just about do it. Obviously, I want to be really careful with these ones around the edges so that I don't damage the frame itself, but we just got to. Oh, look at that. So it is a little bit different than the one I took apart before. The whole thing comes out as a unit, so I just wasted a bunch of time grinding that stuff down. So for anybody watching this after the fact, yeah, no need to do what I just did. Fun times. All right, so I didn't need to grind those down. What are you gonna do? This I don't really need anymore. I bet now that I have ground that down, I can take this plate off if I wanted to, and yes, indeed, I could. But since there's no, well, you know what? I might end up using this, so I'm gonna take it off anyways. In the meantime, we do have the frame, and we're gonna set that aside for now. because I may end up using this piece. That's what the keyboard looks like. It's a very thin membrane. Each one of these keys just go down and makes a connection. But yeah, that's fun. Again, something I don't need, so we're just going to push this aside to the bin. Zevo, what's happening, my man? So something else I'm going to be doing. Check this out. I picked up a USB floppy drive. I'm going to take the original floppy drive and see if I can just take the cover off and put it on here. That way I can have a functional floppy drive. What's the point of that? Well, quite honestly, there's no real point. It's just for bragging rights, I guess. But we are going to see if we can take this apart. So maybe we can do that real quick and see if we can't figure out how we want to do that. Yeah. So far, doing really well. We have a good amount of things that we have on the list to get done, and we'll just see what we can get through today. All right, let's do this again so that I've got some footage of what's going on here. All right. This thing literally had one screw in it, so it shouldn't be too hard to... Oh, it slides out of the way. Nice. Still doesn't want to come off, though. Dude, what is going on here? Oh, there it goes. All right. So, yeah, we got a USB 3.5 floppy drive. Let's see if we can figure out if we can put this cover around it. Because that would be kind of cool. It's actually, this one's got really sort of glossy white door on it anyways. So it fits really well with kind of what we're doing. But let's strip this down. Yeah, Zevo, how's the quality? Hopefully the I know I'm seeing a few skipped frames, so hopefully that's not too terrible. But Streamlabs is telling me that I am having some drop frames. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I did have to drop the bitrate a little bit to see if it would help. So I'm not sure how the quality is coming across, but again, I hope it's not too bad. In terms of thickness here, they're roughly the same, so I think we are going to be able to pull this off. Okay, yeah, a few drop frames, yeah. It is what it is, but hopefully it's not too bad. And I apologize, I'm doing some GoPro capturing here as well. And you know what? Gosh dang it! Look at that. The where the buttons line up is just slightly different. So, what did I do with the other case end? It's two pieces. Well, let's pull apart a little bit more and see if we can't get creative somehow. All right. So let's see if I can do this without damaging it too badly. Sweet. All right, let's just take a look at how far off this is, because we may be able to modify it. I mean, it is pretty far off. It is pretty far off, but what to do? This is part of the fun, is figuring out the best way to reach a certain goal. It can be annoying, there's no doubt about that, but what I'm doing right now, where my mind is at is, will this, if you look, this push button is just attached to this top of the tray. And if the design is similar, I might just be able to switch that over. I'm guessing they're not going to be that similar, but there's really only one way to find out. So, yeah, and it's being plastic, it's not looking promising already. But damn, I was hoping that was going to work a little bit better. What are you going to do? All right, the smaller one. We still might be able to do something here. And I probably should have brought a 2.5-inch floppy out here with me. I didn't think about it at the time, because I didn't look at this, quite honestly, before I brought stuff out and got started. But come on. Oh, there's a, there we go. Ribbon, more ribbons. All right, let's see what we've got here. Okay, well, unfortunately that didn't work out. So I think we're just going to see if we can modify this. The good news is anything can be fixed with a little bit of Bondo. So I think we will use some files and try to cut this open. I will set this aside for now, but we'll come back to it as time permits. I want to get some of the more important case stuff worked out. At least I know what has to be done here. And essentially all we have to do is move this slot over a little bit by literally, what is that? Less than 1/4 of an inch. So we'll set this back aside. Let's get some more of the grinding out of the way. What we're going to do is cut this whole section out of the back of this laptop frame here. So I apologize for the noise, but here it comes. Yeah, I got a couple tools here. I've amassed a certain amount over the years. Kind of the problem with these cutoff wheels, particularly on plastic, I should actually have more of a saw blade wheel on here because these cutoff discs tend to melt the plastic more than cut it, and it actually ends up taking more time. But it's what I have, and so it's what we're using. At the same time, I don't have to go all the way through it. I just have to get it close enough. And in fact, we'll try right there. Let's give that a try and see if we can just snap it. No. No, we're pretty close, but not there yet. All right, here we go again with the wheel. Oh, it's actually reinforced. That's interesting. I'm trying to do this in frame so that you can see what I'm doing, but I guess it's not all that interesting. Woo. I get a little nervous when it hops like that because that's when the disc usually breaks. Woo. We're almost there. Almost there. Let's give that a try. It's too high quality. Oh damn, it is right there. Yeah, we are really close. It's just this section right here. In fact, I can probably take off these fingers that hold the ports. That's mostly what I'm running into is this little bit of metal right here. I'm not sure if you can see down inside here, but just a little bit more on the grinding. See what I mean? Whoop. There we go. Now we're cooking. Sweet. All right. So I pretty much don't need this thing anymore. I might keep it because some of the plastic here would be possibly useful in some of the other reproduction projects. We'll see. I'll set this aside, at least someplace where I can get to it. But now we can look at what we've got here and start doing a little bit more of the shaping. I don't have my trash bag set up. Give me 1 second. I gotta get a trash bag put together here because I will have trash that I don't want to have cluttering the workspace. So that trash bag is not going to do me much good. There's a big hole in the bottom of it. Let's try that again. Round 2. Yeah, that's better. So Zebo, did you have a chance to take a look at some of the costumes on the page over the last week or so? We do have a substantial collection of photos from the film. All of those are original. Got those from Roger K. Burton himself. Well, we didn't get them from him. I sent somebody over there, and he pulled all that stuff out and hooked us up. Still had to pay for the photographer to take the pictures, but it was totally worth it. Totally worth it. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot to go through, and there's so much that I haven't got on there yet. Um, working with IFO Handcraft and Team Prez, and we've got a ton of stuff that we're just sort of in the works on, but we haven't got done yet. I'm trying to work out a couple things first, and of course, I get so tied up in these projects that I lose track of what I'm doing. All right, so what we need to do is this piece needs to go on this side of the case. On this side, we need to fill that in, and we have the original door that was on the back of this thing, this guy right here. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to use this to fill in this space, whatever's left, and we're going to have to trim this piece out and stuff this in there. So first thing we got to do is get rid of some of this stuff. That's where we will start to use the sanding wheel. But before I switch over off of the cutting wheel, I do want to cut this battery down. I got to be a little bit careful. The good news is this battery does not hold a charge at all. So I don't have to worry about this battery potentially exploding or anything like that because I cut into it. I did my due diligence in making sure that this thing was not going to cause me any problems. What I do need to figure out is how I want to take this apart. The good news on this one, as opposed to the last one, is there's a very obvious seam, which could be really good. The last one that I did, there was not. The plastic was actually welded together. This one, I might be able to take this apart without having to cut it open. And that would be really nice because I would rather not. Even though I'm pretty certain it's not going to be a problem, I'd still rather not cut into it if I don't have to. So, drum roll, if you please. Let's see if I can do this without injuring myself either. Let's try a larger screwdriver here. Let's, yeah, we'll go with this one. Well, so far off to a bad start. We may have to cut it after all. I'm going to try cutting right here where these little nubs are, and let's see where that gets us. I've been going for what, about 28 minutes now or so. You guys missed the whole intro. I had an intro and everything. Yeah, no, these, it feels like this is, ooh, actually, that might have just worked. Well, maybe not. Damn, I was hoping I wouldn't have to cut this too much, but again, it is what it is. We'll just make it happen. Yeah, this plastic kind of stinks. It's got a weird stink to it when I'm cutting it. Yeah, rewatch it and let me know. Yeah, these are tied together. Yeah, I've also got some stuff set up that should pop up if we get new followers or something like that. At some of the advice given to me by some others and people I've talked to about streaming. So hopefully a little bit higher production value from a streaming standpoint. Like I said, I've not really done any streaming on Twitch before, so it's a learning process, work in progress, if you will. All right, let's see. Yeah, there we go. So when I took the old battery apart on the wrong one, yeah, here it is. Check this out. This was what made up the battery in the first test round that I did. Yeah, exactly. Some cool alerts and whatnot. So yeah, I was surprised. I'd never seen a battery with like a whole bunch of cells stuffed together like this. And this thing, I don't know what the hell this thing is. I wonder if it's magnetic. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll pull it. Well, no, I don't think it is because it's directly attached to these. I don't know what it is, but I found it interesting, so I thought I'd show it to you guys. Yeah. How often do you stream? I did check out your channel just the other day. I mean, you weren't streaming or anything, but I did go to the channel, check it out. Do you have a pretty regular? I mean, it didn't seem like there was a regular schedule, but I didn't realize that Twitch only keeps videos for a few days, so you may have quite a bit more videos than what I saw. But again, I'm just getting into Twitch. All right, I think we are almost there. Last but not least, oh, I guess I do have to do this section, so. Section here might be a little bit funky since I've got to, I might have to get everything pulled out. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Can you see the contacts, how they're just kind of pushed up in here? That, damn, look at those bastards. Look at the side, look at the difference in these things. They look like gosh dang sticks of dynamite or something. Holy hell. Compared to the newer version, right? So this is from the older laptop and this is from the newer laptop. These are like a stack of D-cell batteries or some crap. I don't know. This is crazy. Oh, nice. Moving to Texas for, oh, sweet. That'd be really cool. What tools would you be using for that? And I haven't kept up with, oh, check this out. And I haven't kept up with the whole 3D side of things. I did do some 3D, but it was more for gaming. Like back when Quake 1 and Quake 2 was still a thing. I made quite a few Quake models and was involved in, yeah, look at this, it's like a bunch of D batteries. That's nutso. Anyways, I just ripped this apart for fun. I wanted to see what the hell is D batteries stuffed inside a paper tube. Goofy. Anyways, this is what we wanted. This is what we were after. And so I'm happy with that. We'll just toss this stuff over here for now. Anyways, getting back to the 3D stuff, yeah, I'm familiar with using Maya, 3D Studio Max, and there was one that was specifically created for quake modeling. It was called Q2 Modeler, and I got really, really familiar with that. And but yeah, again, I haven't used it too much. Actually, I have used Blender a little bit, um, but oh sweet, oh SolidWorks, yeah. Um, I have downloaded SolidWorks, and I know what SolidWorks is, but I have not spent much time trying to do anything with it. Um, but it does have a lot of similarities. Of course, you know, all 3D programs have their similarities. Um, Blender is the one that took me the longest because of all the damn hotkeys. Blender is completely driven by hotkeys, which annoys the hell out of me because I never use it for long enough to really embed the hotkeys into memory, and as a result, I have to basically relearn it to some degree every time I use it. Um, so okay, now oh yeah, what I wanted to do with this guy. So now that I have this off of there, I do need to get some room. What I wanted to see was how much room was between the back of the case and where the battery tray is, because I have to cut into that a little bit. And actually, it looks like I might have to cut into it a fair bit in order to put the Apple backplane piece in there, which I just had. What the hell did I do with it? I literally just had it. Oh, there it is. You can see the thickness of this plastic is a little bit, I guess it's not that much thicker. It's just got these ribs on it. You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna lop this off here and cut back into this as much as we need to. We will take this battery tray back out so that I don't actually damage it in any way. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut into that, and then we'll start doing some of the resizing of the plastic. One thing I do want to show you guys before I sign out today is I posted a picture on Facebook and Twitter about remapping the keys of the keyboard. So I've been working on that. I mentioned a little bit ago. Oh yeah, I'll definitely accept that for sure. Yeah, what I'll be doing is making the original Apple keyboard work with the Raspberry Pi. But to do it, I have to use a Teensy to convert all of the inputs into USB. Fortunately, I did actually get a hold of that guy that made the original video, and he's been hooking me up with which of these ribbons goes to where on the Teensy, right? So what I have to do is, this isn't the right circuit board. Do I have this circuit in here? Yes, I do. On this circuit board, you have to take these little ribbon sockets off, these two here, and then attach some wires. So depending on how much we get done today, I mean, we got about 20 minutes left in the stream. I may end up desoldering these pins in this video, though the speed at which this is taking place right now, I'm guessing we might not get to that, and we'll just hold that off till next week. All right, let's go ahead and cut into this thing and see if we can make quick work of this. Do I have it in frame? I kind of have it in frame, huh? This plastic is nice because it's considerably more resistant to heat, and so it does a whole lot less melting, and you actually get some pretty clean cuts out of it, which is really nice. Drop it. I cannot say enough how important it is to have some eye protection on when doing this with plastic. Um, very important. All right, now I do have a bit of a situation where I can't get down into this gap right here, and it is attached. What do I want to do here? That works. I guess we just snap it off. Yeah, it does send shrapnel everywhere. I mean, you aren't kidding. And especially with plastic, if you're using the Dremel in any ways towards your face, trust me when I say that the last thing you want is heated / melted plastic getting in your eye. I have had a number of, fortunately not too impacting situations with my eye. The worst of which, the worst ever, and hot coolant, engine coolant in my eye was less than a treat. But cactus needle in the eye, that's probably the best eye story that I have. And I went pretty much the whole damn day with that cactus needle stuck in my eye. I had been playing paintball, and it was probably seriously not too long after I got there and started playing that that I got it in my eye. And I played with it all day. What was I? I was maybe 15 or 16 at the time. Yes, that's the bottom. And I got home and like, yeah. So I think I had it on my glove, and I went to rub my eye like that, and must have just inserted needle into eye, and it was less than comfortable. I will tell you that much. Less than comfortable. I'm going to cut a little bit more back into this, I think, since it doesn't really matter. Yeah, fortunately, it was more in the corner of my eye and not anywhere near the iris. The doctor had said if it was anywhere closer to the iris of my eye, that I would have been in excruciating pain. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it was still pretty painful, as you might well imagine. All right, I think that we've got this cleared out enough to where we're going to be able to get this in there pretty well. So we'll grind this down a bit more and see if we can get it in there. Now I do need my knives. What did I do with them? See, I cleaned up my workbench for the purpose of this live stream. And as such, I'm looking for my tools. There we go. Oh, come on, why not? Cactus needle in the eyes are fun. Everybody should try it. Yeah, obviously not true. All right. So we got this trimmed down. Get all this nasty plastic off of here. We're actually doing pretty well, I think. We've got about 15 minutes. I'm going to see if we can at least get this guy trimmed down and super glued in here. Now, what I do want to do as well is I want to use all of these ports. Maybe not the modem one. I'll take the modem one off, at least for now. I think I'm just going to cut this circuit board right down the middle here and just kind of stuff this back behind everything so that, you know, the ports and whatnot, here we go, this direction. The ports and whatnot are there and visible. This one I'm not doing because I'm actually going to put a, this is where the micro USB power port will be for the Raspberry Pi. So that'll just basically come in right here and go right into the Pi. I've got that downstairs in my office. I'm probably also not going to use this guy here, though I might. We'll see. I was thinking about removing this and double stacking some regular USBs here. However, I might do that on this side of the case here. Now this side has this little fold down flap, and so when it's all put together, I might put something here. Plus it's on the right hand side of the case, so it's perfect for like putting in like a mouse or like an external drive or something like that. So I'm still undecided on where I'm going to put the things, but I am decided that I want enough of the original ports to show up behind here as possible. So yeah, I mean, there you go. And as a result, it means I pretty much have to sacrifice this entire motherboard. Luckily, it's just for an 8 or a 180C. And yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to just start cutting into the circuit board. I've never actually cut a circuit board before, so I'm not sure what to expect in terms of smell. Nice. Yeah, definitely. My cousin has a 3D printer. It's not a good 3D printer. It's not like a real expensive one. I mean, obviously you get some really expensive ones like MakerBot, but yeah, it's something. Hmm. I should probably be wearing a respirator. I have one. Maybe I'll put it on. What do you think? Should I put on a respirator or not? I don't know if this stuff is, well, I think it's probably fine. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Respirator, no respirator? There aren't any goofy smells coming from it, so that's a good sign. I'll just toss this over here for now. How much space am I going to need? And I want to get that as close as possible, I'm thinking. So we'll start cutting from this side now. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty heavy dust. If I was doing, if I was sanding Bondo or something like that, I would be doing it a bit differently for sure. But this stuff is not too bad. I do have it though. Where is it? There's my welding mask. It's probably over there. I'm just gonna roll with it. Roll the dice. It sounds like that rain is starting to come down too. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's coming across in the audio. MDF dust. Yeah, no, you're not kidding there. That stuff is nasty. Yep. Gotta be careful with that. All right, let's see if we can snap some of this stuff apart. Um, oh, yeah, no, that'll work. Nice. I will definitely check that out. Yeah, it's always fun to see different projects and whatnot. I gotta cut this back a little bit further. All right. I think that is all we need. Sweet. All right. Now I will have to figure out how I'm going to mount this stuff in here. I do need to cut that back a little more, so we'll do that. I probably just get away with cutting this one with a knife, or maybe even just snapping it off. Nah, I'm going to have to cut it. If it will cut. Whoa, nice. Yeah, I think it's a little tight for 4 USB ports, but I can definitely get away with 2. If I could find, in fact, that I matched it up. I did not bring the Raspberry Pi out here. I don't think. No, I didn't. If I stuck the Raspberry Pi over here, it would definitely fit in these ports, and you could fit the 4 USBs there. However, I'm got a bit of a where is it? I've got a bit of an affinity of mounting the Raspberry Pi in this, so that you'll actually be able to take it in and out of the laptop. I don't know. It just seems like a really cool idea, and as as a result, I just want to stick to that idea. But if I could find like a 4-port USB hub that is, it's stacked 2 by 2, that would fit in that space really, really well. Oh, that's freaking perfect. That's just about perfect. Nice. Nice. So a little bit of work on that, and we'll be good to go. Now, I did put the button. There's a button that went behind here, and it may have got dropped off somewhere, but I will find it so I can put that back in place. So let's go ahead and grind some of this stuff down and move right along. So I will switch out this tool to the grinding wheel, or rather the sanding wheel, and see what we get. It's funny, I don't remember if it was Zero You or you, the PS1 addict, that mentioned in the last video I went back and watched, and I apologize I missed the comment, but about the Raspberry Pi being so much more powerful than the original laptop. It is funny, how much of a difference just a few years makes in the terms of technology. Pretty insane. I remember I built the first computer I built with a Cyrix x86 chip. I had a 4 gig hard drive that I think I paid $200 for. Or no, it wasn't a 4 gig. It was like a 400 meg hard drive or something like that. No, it wasn't. Now I'm questioning myself. I got a 2 gig Maxtor Fireball. That's what it was. It cost like $200. Yeah, crazy. Crazy how times change. The old Cyrix, yeah, man. Those things are old school. And I had built that machine almost specifically for playing Quake. I was a Quake fiend back in the day. I hope you can see kind of what I'm doing. I'm reshaping this edge, getting the little lump off of it. I'll do the same here and just fit it into this shape. I mean, you can see already it's pretty close. But I got to get rid of these little ribs back here. It is starting to plateau. You're right. I mean, unless you're really into, games running at the top, the top graphic settings and things like that, and streaming them while you're doing it. I'll be quite honest. My primary machine is built on technology that's 3.5 years old, maybe 4 years old. But I don't need it for that much, If I was really heavily into gaming or maybe video editing, if you're doing a lot of video editing, that would make a lot of sense. But we're getting pretty close to the bottom of the stream. So I will probably finish what I'm doing here. Like I said, I do want to show kind of the process I was taking on remapping the keyboard. So I'm going to stop what I'm doing here in just a second, and we'll switch over to that and show you guys what I mean, or rather what that process looked like to map that out. Anyways, I'm pretty good on this now. I think it's going to fit in the space pretty well. And indeed it does. So some super glue, some Bondo, and I think that we will be in pretty good shape there. I need to grind that down a little bit. But yeah, you know what I might do? Quite honestly, I might just take these things off and just glue them directly to the back of this. Take them completely off the board and just glue them in. Might save space. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. All right, so anyways, how does one go about mapping the keys on a keyboard? So you are going to need a multimeter, something like this one, and there's usually a setting on these things that looks kind of like, I don't know, it looks like that. And what it does, when you touch the two contacts together, it makes that beeping sound, right? So the way that these keyboards work is you have these two ribbons. Now the annoying thing about this particular keyboard is the contacts on these ribbons are on opposite sides. So on this ribbon, it's this side. On this ribbon, it is this side. So what you want to do is touch, it's sort of like, I don't know what I'd compare it to, but you're going to hold down a key. Actually, I'll do it an easier way. What did I do with that board? So I will plug them into the board. Let's do that. I forget the way that this even went. Yeah, here we go. Plug it into the board. And what these two different ribbons do is when you push the keys, it basically connects one of the points from one ribbon with one of the points from the other ribbon. So what I will do is, now I've got the two ribbons. Here, let me do this. Let me get this down a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So you've got all these contacts here, and they're for each one of the pins on the ribbon. What I'm going to do is just holding down one of the keys with my pinky on this hand, I'm going to touch one of these connectors, or one of these points. I'm just going to drag this over the other points. Now I kind of have to take my earphones off so I can hear when it beeps really well. But I will touch this pin and drag this across these, and it didn't make any beeping sound. So I'll touch the next pin, drag it across, and I'll just keep doing that until I get one that beeps. Oop. So now I know where the two pins are. So it is this third pin here and this third pin here. And so all I did was keep going through and mapping out which of the two pins on the these two ribbons related to each one of the keys, and wrote it down. Yeah, it was a slow and painstaking process, but now that I know which of these pins relates to each of the keys, when I hook this up to the Teensy, what I can do is map each one of these key presses to a particular output, and actually put text on the screen. So I will not be writing all the code for that. It would take me a long time to figure out how to do it, since I don't know how to code in C, which I guess the Teensy, most of the language is based on C. But yeah, so I am using Chris Chu, which is the guy, I think it's Chu. I apologize if I messed his name up. He is the guy whose video I found where he actually did this first. He took a Powerbook 180 laptop and hooked it up to a Teensy, and made it work with a Raspberry Pi. So in some sense, I cheated, but I did figure out how to map this before I ever got any contact from him. So I'll take a little bit of credit. Anyways, guys, hopefully, obviously there was a little bit less maybe exciting going on here, but quite a bit more technical and creative on this side. I will do a little bit of cleanup on some of these parts and try to get some of that plastic fitting a little bit better. And then what I will hopefully do before the next video is just have those pieces super glued in place. And then when we come back next week, we'll start talking about doing some of the Bondo work, the body filler work, how to smooth things out. And I have a few parts on order that I need to really wait for anyways, one of which is the Teensy, so I can make the keyboard work. Another of which is I did a lot of searching to see if I could make either one of the old laptop screens work on the Raspberry Pi. I couldn't find an LCD controller that would work with them, so I did end up finding a 4:3 aspect ratio LCD panel and controller for a Raspberry Pi out on the web. It is coming from China, so I may not have it before next week, but that will be the screen that we will be using on this project. And if it works pretty well, I'll order about 3 more of them for the other projects that I want to do. I mean, they only rang in at about 34 bucks a pop, so I'm not expecting the greatest quality, but as long as they work, I mean, these original laptops were like 800 by 600, I think, so even if the image quality isn't that great by today's standards, it's probably going to be significantly better than the they may have even been 640 by 480, come to think of it, but obviously they'll be much better than the standard at the time. So yeah, hopefully this was something fun for you guys. Share the stream link with your friends. PS1 Addict, I will check out that link on your Raspberry Pi PS1 gaming rig there, and some of these other things. Keep an eye out on the page. I do have a few things actually going up. We are doing a deep dive of Kate Libby's jacket. We have some of the information from when it was first released by TT Leathers, as well as give people a few options. There's a couple companies that basically created the same jacket and offered it, one of which is Rivets, and we actually do a quick review or have some information about a recent repro that has come up from a Canadian company on eBay, and we'll sort of talk about what that was like. Teen Press picked one of those up, so keep an eye out on the page. We should be setting up a live stream for next week, and we hope to see you there, and maybe with a few friends. So appreciate it, guys. We'll talk with you next time.